Well, good morning. It's Earth Day, and cosmically, I have two experts with me who have devoted a lot of time to agriculture research and policy. So I'm very pleased to introduce Murray Fulton, who is a professor in the Johnson Shayama Graduate School of Public Policy, recipient of several Shirk Awards, not least of which Knowledge in Impacts in Society. And I also have today with us Jim Stalwick. He's manager of the Policy and Environment branch for the Saskatchewan Ministry of Agriculture. And we're here to talk about knowledge mobilization. Murray, if you could tell us a little bit about your project. You took a rather unique approach with your KISS project. Tell us a little bit about that, and how did this pan out in your engagement with your partners like Jim?
Right. This is tough. This is actually I'm finding this is the hardest question to sort of begin with. I guess the approach that we took with our project was to we did a number of small activities. But what we were really trying to focus on were one or two large activities that would pull in various partners. And one of the questions that we knew that was sort of out there was, how do you bring actually economic analysis to bear on policy issues? The KISS project that I was involved in had a really strong policy focus. And as an economist, I was interested in this question: how do you bring this analysis that's going on in the university, that the teaching of economics sort of academically, to bear on public policy problems? And as part of that, we put on a little workshop where we brought in some resource people, advertised this quite widely, and actually had a wonderful day of discussion about how this kind of activity would take place. And I think this is actually, I recount this because this is actually, I think, how this knowledge mobilization occurs best. Because one of the things that happened out of that particular workshop was that Jim attended and started to hear more about what one of our resource people had to say. This was Dave Pannell from Australia. And Jim said, this actually fits with what we're doing today. And I'll let him tell that particular story. But this is, I think, how this knowledge mobilization occurs, that somebody has one idea, they get that out, somebody else picks it up, it gets transformed a little bit, it gets morphed, you need some additional resources from the university, et cetera, and it snowballs.
Terrific. So Jim, could you tell us a little bit, how do partnerships like these help your organization? I guess maybe if you could tell us a little bit about your particular department and the Ministry of Agriculture as well, what their work is.
Right. I'll come at it from the perspective as a manager in the policy branch within the ministry for the last 15 years. Our job is to provide advice to the minister and to the deputy's office in terms of particular policy issues as required. So the analysts that work for me and work for the other managers within the branch are very specialized subject matter experts. But our analysts are required that if a window of opportunity arises where change can in fact start to occur, that they have to be prepared to jump at that window of opportunity, because it may not exist for long. So in building that base of expertise, they are required to have a broad network of contacts. They review situations, what's happening in other countries. They have to understand the literature that is occurring within the particular subject and that kind of thing.